Happening now, Newzroom Afrika, Channel 405 is our breaking story. 3 suspects killed in a shootout with police in KwaZulu-Natal after 4 people were shot and killed in that same province earlier this week. KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi starts us off. General, good to have you and thank you very much for coming on this evening. Can you confirm indeed the number of the suspects who were involved in a shootout with police this afternoon?
Yeah, good evening, sir. That's correct. 3 suspects that were involved in a shootout with the police this evening at Inanda area.
What were the suspects being tracked for?
A variety type of crimes, which ranges from murder to robberies. But the most important one that we were following on is a murder of a police officer that happened last year, June. So it took us that long for us to being able to collect, to locate these people.
Are these suspects that you've been following on that are known to the police and you think you've got the right people?
Yeah, no, that's correct. We got the right people. They were involved with about 4 murders. The most recent one happened at the beginning of this year. Double murder when they shot 2 young boys in this area as well. So they were quite notorious about murders. And when we found them, they were in their house, preparing for another robbery because there's a traditional healer place that where they were seated.
So the place that you found them at is not necessarily a hideout. Were they going to perform some traditional rituals, you say?
Yeah, and I think they were preparing for some robbery or something because there's a lot of herbs in that room, and you can see that it's some traditional healer that was busy with them.
Now, people have been asking a question around this particular area. Are you picking up a pattern about Inanda? Because a lot of the shootouts and the exchanges with police are happening in that particular area. Is there a particular reason why this would be the pattern?
I think there's a number of challenges. The place is, it's populated. There's too many people around the area. You have a township on one side. You have informal settlements in the mix. And we have a rural area in the same vicinity. So there are structured houses, informal settlement, as I say, shacks, and then there's houses that are built by people wherever they want to build, which is under the chief in the area. So it's a mix. You find a lot of people coming from the rural areas to come and settle here. It's not far from Devon. So it's, I think, with a history, it's a place that has been well known for people to relocate to.
Yeah. Now, I started off by saying, of course, earlier on in the week, you had reported that 4 others were shot in the provinces, 3 more tonight. Is there a link between the 2? Or what does this represent, I suppose, in terms of your strategy in fighting crime in the province?
Look, they might not necessarily be linked with each other. I think in this area, there is also another one that was shot 2 weeks ago, involved with 4 others also in the same area. Our plan has always been to try and find these boys and take them to court. You know, incidents of this nature, like what happened again tonight, we lose an opportunity to crack more or find more of these criminals because once they're gone, they can't talk, they can't tell us anything. So we like to get them alive so we can interrogate them and be able to locate more suspects they're involved with. But if they happen to get into a fight like this and end up dying, we basically like back to square one because we have to start afresh again and go and hunt because we lost an opportunity to have these ones alive. So we always want to get them alive so that we're able to interrogate them and get more information so we can go after many of them.
To many, they could look at this as you making headway in the fight against crime. Would you say it would represent that?
Well, look, the reality is one criminal that is moved away from society, the better. However, one dead person is not necessarily a good thing for us. As I said, it affects us the most because the members that were involved with the shootout, we have to withdraw them from operation and send them for counseling for some time before we can bring them back again to operations. So during the time they're not involved in operations, criminals are continuing with their evil deeds. So we don't necessarily appreciate every time to get involved in a shootout. We would like to win a battle without having to fight anyone. There's many of them. That's why we had a press briefing in the week where we're indicating last week that so many of over 30,000 of them that were arrested without necessarily fighting with the police. So that's what we want to see. It's unfortunate that although they arrest some of them, go out on bail, even if they're involved in murders, but that is not for the police. That is for the court, and we can't decide that because they're getting out on bail that we must shoot them. We don't want to do that, and we don't do that unless they put up a fight.
The multi-tasked operation involving all sorts of units, was it tracking specifically these three, or was there a suspicion that there might be more? In other words, these three are the only ones. Could there be others that could have gotten away?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of these groups. It's not only these three. There's a lot of these groups. We are told that one year when the team came, there was one that was standing outside. And when he saw the police, he went for a run. He started shooting, but he managed to run away. So the others were inside the house as they were trying to come out. Then that's what happened also with the police. But they couldn't run away, those three. So one of them escaped. So we do know that perhaps as we're going to be doing some linkages, getting more information, there might be many others that are related to them.
Yeah. This has been a shootout. Any other injuries other than the three that were shot and killed? Maybe bystanders, members of the community, or members of your team?
No, fortunately, there were not many community members around when this incident happened, so nobody was injured. Police officers are all injury-free, and it's only those three that lost their lives.
General, we appreciate your time and thanks for talking to us. KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is still on the scene of the crime in Inanda, where three suspects got into a shootout with police, and the police, of course, getting the upper hand there.